We are joined by attorney Jeff O'Brien with our weekly 3 and Out. 3 stories, usually sports stories. In the football season, it's the 3 big teams in the state, the 2 D1 teams, and the Johnnies, who I don't care they lost to Bethel. They'll beat them in the playoffs. Right now, they're 8th in the nation, the Johnnies, and Bethel is 5th, but that'll change once the Johnnies knock them off again. Boy, am I showing some bias here? My kid was a Johnny, so played rugby there. Anyway, the Gophers. How do they get another bye week at this point in the season? That's ridiculous. Did somebody back out on them?
I don't think so. Maybe it's just a mercy bye, knowing who they have to play next week, because they have to play Oregon next week.
So they'll dust them. Yeah. It'll be like Miami Buffalo.
We'll get the obligatory field goal like we always do, like we did against Ohio State and Iowa. Yeah. So, PJ is good at getting into field goal range just to prevent the shutout when they play a meaningful team. So.
Yeah, and then they now you sent me something over the weekend that Indiana and the Gophers are out recruiting Wisconsin kids more than the Badgers. They're getting more recruits than the Badgers are, right?
Yeah. There was a story. It was an offensive lineman that the Badgers didn't offer to, the Gophers got, and then that helped the Gophers get a second offensive lineman that the Badgers did make an offer to. So there have been instances where high school players in Wisconsin have chosen Minnesota over Wisconsin, which used to be the opposite.
Yeah, but here's the thing that you have to watch though. They may sign with the Gophers, but will they stay with the Gophers?
That's a good point.
Remember, Bucky Irving used to be a Gopher, or was at one point. A number of them are, but they don't. Do they stay? Ohio State's got one of their starting offensive linemen was a Gopher, and then he left.
I just saw a post on X on, I think it was yesterday or the day before, Bob, where someone was doing a roundup of stats on Gopher transfers across the country and showing how the quarterbacks and whoever else that have left here, and have gone on to do quite well other places. So.
Yeah, I'm sure that. Well, I'd like to see a story on who has lost the most of their recruits to other teams, because it wouldn't be one of the bottom dwellers, because they're not going to have guys people want. It's got to be a mid-level team, which the Gophers are certainly as mid and lower mid, I guess. So, we'll see. All right, now let's talk about your Tommies went down. I want to talk about the Johnnies last, because they're not because they're last, because they've got they're getting back on the stride. But your Tommies played Drake, which is a perennial winner in their league, and they knocked them off. That's a big upset for them.
Yeah, I mean, if there's any rival that the Tommies have in that Pioneer League, it's Drake, being that they're in Iowa, right? And Drake has been the first couple of years when after they moved up to D1, the Tommies beat them pretty handily, and then Drake got better. And the last 2 years, they were the Pioneer League conference champs, and then were undefeated in the conference going into Saturday. It was down in Des Moines, and Tommy's beat them, and I got a little trouble on social media because I made a point that, well, it looks like the other D1 team in Minnesota can beat its rival from Iowa.
You know what? Trouble. These freaking Gopher fans. Come on, get some realism. And I actually, when you told me about it, I weighed in and said that the Tommies will wind up winning their division. The Gophers. In anyone's lifetime, I don't see them winning the Big Ten. Not with the coach they have. They got to get Kurt Cignetti, the guy from Indiana.
They good enough is not good enough. I mean, when you have Indiana number 2 in the country, we shouldn't be saying that the Duke's Mayo Bowl is enough to generate another 5-year contract extension.
Yeah, and get those Wisconsin kids. All right, now the Johnnies. Who did they dust this time?
It was Saint Scholastica.
Oh, how bad was that? They beat them
years ago.
Almost 100.
Scholastica was UMAC. I think the Johnnies hung almost 100 points on.
Yeah, they did.
Years ago. And then St. Thomas did it and got kicked out of the conference.
So what? Yeah, St. Scholastica's they're in the MIAC now, right?
They are.
What a mistake!
When the Tommies left, they added Scholastica.
Oh, what a bunch of!
And they added McAllister.
Oh, ouch!
Yeah,
not a good idea. So, all right. So, how bad was it?
Hang on. It was bad. It was
because it was like 48-0 at halftime.
It was only 70-21, Bob.
Whoa, they let up set 21 points. Now I'm worried about the Johnnies.
Well, it was if you look at the total offense, the Johnnies outgained the Saints 548 yards to 228.
Oh my
yards.
God. Oh my gosh. Wow. Yeah, that's
so
not
my
good.
My guess is those 21 points came when the third or fourth stringers were playing, because the Johnnies don't cut anybody. So I'm going to guess they emptied the bench on Saturday and still wound up with 70 points.
Well, I'm looking forward to that Bethel game. All right, because they do play in the playoffs.
Well, they got Olaf next week. That you got, and don't put too many points on Olaf, or because it was the Tommies did the 98 points or whatever on Olaf and got kicked. That was the school that decided to kick him out. So you don't want to put too many points on him. Just get enough.
Well, I'll tell you right now, Bethel's in the short hairs. So they better be careful there. All right. As always, greatly appreciated. Attorney Jeff O'Brien with our weekly 3 and Out. Take a quick break. The BS Show will be right back.